You didn't know what was going to happen from the next day from the next.
Around March 2020, when the pandemic hit this place, it turned the place upside down. But
You know, you're separated from your loved
reasons
ones.
are a lot different.
When you're in a lockdown situation, I
I was
mean,
quarantined.
you're locked down 24 hours with one person.
Well, yeah, when I first got here, I really didn't know anybody. I think I knew one person here on the yard. Once I got here, I immediately joined the class. I had a couple of guys in my unit that are also in the class. I was able to establish a pretty positive relationship with them.
Coming to class was like a sanctuary. You know, being able to get out of the negative environment.
Around February, we were really gaining momentum. And then the 1st of March, COVID hit. And so we had to stop. And I was just devastated because we had to start a stop, got going, had momentum, and these guys were invested.
When the COVID happened, a lot of things just went everywhere. We didn't know if we're coming, if we're going, if a prison fellowship was going to come back. And
one of the main factors in the environment at Lincoln Correctional Center is to ensure that the gentlemen that live here and reside here have access to programs throughout the year. With COVID-19, obviously that puts a lot of restrictions on what we can do and how many guys we can get that.
So what we did was we pivoted and we went to a Zoom class, bringing the academy back into the prison.
of course, it's not the same as insane, but we developed a better connection with just doing it ourselves. It was a little bit of adjustment, but we see them clearly, we hear them clearly. They provided a way for us to have that contact, and yeah, it's just been running smoothly from that point.
We've been able to continue our partnership with the Prison Fellowship over the past year. Despite all the restrictions, we've been able to get the inmate population up here to continue their growth and increase the hope and just continue to strive to get better and transition back into the community.
Yeah, I got close to all the volunteers. It would have been easy for any number of them to say, you know, I don't want to do this because it's too difficult. I'm just going to wait until the pandemic's over but instead they kind of soldiered through the situation and helped us out.
You know, we kind of realize that it's very limited for them to see what it's like outside the walls. But I think knowing and having a person in front of you who, you know, cares about you, and, you know, even if they can't physically come in, that they're speaking with you and, more importantly, listening to you. You know, I think that's helpful, and that's also responding to the mission of not forgetting those who have been forgotten and those who are in prison.
Before I got into prison ministry, I said I'd hang around with other farmers and you know, cornfields and bean fields. I've always driven by the prison, not really knowing what was on the inside. Once I started sitting down with the guys, teaching prison fellowship material, all of a sudden you start to find that people were closer to where you live than you think.
The Prison Fellowship Academy provides a basic community for us. We don't connect with outside world a lot, but it helps us. You know, it's more than just a community. We become family. We're able to flourish. We're able to connect with the volunteers that come in.
You do build up a relationship with the guys once they start to open up, and it's about towards the end that everybody's familiar with everybody, and you know, it's just like almost watching one of your kids graduate. You got personal time invested, and it's just, you want to see it continue and you want to see them grow.
You know, it's so exciting to see these men, these individuals that, you know, started out with a struggle, you know, but they didn't give up.
If anything, this year would be a good excuse to just kind of abandon everything. But when they were told, well, we can't come in person, we're going to do it remotely, they still showed up every week, hungry to learn. I'm really excited for them, and I think it's a good point for them to kind of build on.
Inside this institution, they are forerunners. They are the one that's ahead of the game, and they're going to be one that's going to make a change inside this institution. But not only inside this institution, but when they leave this institution, they will make a difference in the world because they are overcoming. And this is what it's all about. It's an overcoming process. It doesn't happen overnight, but as they continue to process through it, they'll get through it. And I just want to encourage them to let them know that this is the first step of many steps to come.
Just as well as anything else in prison, you really feel that you accomplished something. No matter how monumental or trivial it is, just being able to know that you completed something really means a lot in here. So it'll mean a lot, especially how meaningful the class is.
Like for me, it's just the fact that I'm following through and finishing things that I set my goals out to do.
Graduating tomorrow, that means a lot to me for my family.
You guys set the examples for something that I would like to be once I get up out of here, to step up and be the man that I want to be. And that is to my sons, who are a great inspiration to me, my daughter, and that's why I do it all. And God is a great restorer, and I believe that He's going to restore us all.